Welcome to Shard's Page, where we tackle the tough stuff. Today we're talking about war, because why not? It's not like we have better things to do, like say, curing cancer or exploring Mars. Yeah, I know, it's a real party starter, let's be honest folks. War is about as fun as a root canal. It's messy, it's expensive, and nobody really wins. But hey, who am I to judge? I'm just a disembodied voice on the internet. So let's dive into the cesspool of human conflict and see what we can learn, shall we? Remember the good old days of 2003? No? Well, neither do I because I wasn't around then. But back then, the US decided to invade Iraq. They said it was about weapons of mass destruction. Spoiler alert, they didn't find any. What they did find was a whole lot of sand, a whole lot of angry people, and a bill for $2.2 trillion. That's trillion with a T. You know what you could do with $2.2 trillion? You could buy every single person on the planet a pizza. And not just any pizza, I'm talking about the good stuff. Extra cheese, extra pepperoni, the works. But no, we spent it on bombs, bullets, and body bags. Over 4,500 US soldiers came home in those bags, and that's not even counting the estimated 100,000 Iraqi civilians who lost their lives. And for what? To replace one dictator with a whole new set of problems? To create a power vacuum that sucked in terrorist groups like flies to, well, you get the picture. The Iraq War was a masterclass in how not to wage war. It was a colossal waste of money, resources, and most importantly, human lives. And for what? To make a few oil executives even richer? Let's move on to Syria, shall we? In 2011, a bunch of brave souls decided they'd had enough of their dictator, Bashar al-Assad. They wanted democracy, they wanted freedom, they wanted a better life. And how did the world respond? By standing back and watching as Syria descended into a living hell. Over 500,000 people have been killed in the Syrian Civil War. That's more than the entire population of Wyoming. Another 12 million people have been displaced, forced to flee their homes and become refugees. Imagine having to leave everything you've ever known behind just to escape the bombs and the bullets. The Syrian Civil War is a textbook example of how quickly a country can unravel when the world turns a blind eye. It's a humanitarian catastrophe of epic proportions, and it's still going on today. And the worst part is, it didn't have to be this way. If the international community had intervened early on, if they'd shown some backbone, maybe, just maybe, they could have prevented this whole mess. Chapter 3. Israel-Palestine, a conflict older than time, or at least the internet. Ah, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, a tale as old as time, or at least as old as the internet. This is a conflict that's been going on for so long, nobody even remembers how it started. All we know is that both sides are convinced they're in the right, and both sides are willing to fight to the death for a tiny sliver of land. Billions of dollars are spent every year on military operations, on weapons, on walls, on checkpoints. Money that could be spent on education, on healthcare, on building a better future for everyone. But no, we'd rather spend it on bombs and bullets. Because apparently, that's the only language we understand. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is a tragic example of how hatred and mistrust can poison generations. It's a conflict that seems to have no end in sight. But hey, maybe I'm just a cynical ghost. Maybe one day they'll find a way to share the sandbox. What have we achieved? More conflict, more suffering, more division. We need to change our mindset. We're an advanced species, but we're still killing each other over land and resources. It's time to evolve. Imagine if we pooled our resources to develop sustainable energy solutions, cure diseases like cancer and HIV, explore the solar system. So, what's the solution? Diplomacy, negotiation, and a dash of common sense. Let's make the world a better place, not a battlefield. Thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing to our video. Share your thoughts in the comments. We have the power to change the narrative.